Hey, this is Ian from EssentialTennis.com. Welcome to video 3 of 3 in a series that I've been focusing in on the pros and how they practice for success to really allow them to play at such a high level. In the first video, we took a look at Nikolai Davydenko and we watched him practice some backhands over and over again, focusing on what he needed to improve. The second video, we took a look at Caroline Wozniacki and we saw her drilling her ground strokes in both defensive, neutral, and offensive situations. And in this video, we're going to take a look at Novak Djokovic, and we're going to see some really interesting practice from him on the practice court. Let's go ahead and go right to that. And we're going to see him on the baseline initially, but you'll find very, very quickly that he's moving in. And I wanted to feature this video in this series first and foremost because it's so rare to see a top-level singles player work on their net game. But Djokovic, while I was watching him here, spent a good 20 minutes, maybe even 30, practicing his approach game. So that's kind of lesson number one here, is Novak is taking a part of the game that most people don't really attribute much to in the men's singles game, you know, the net game, being comfortable up at the net. And he's practicing it over and over again with his practice partner. And the second reason why I like this video a lot, or why I really enjoyed watching him play, was after several shots, he started missing a couple backhands in a row. And I think that's coming up in just a minute here after this forehand. He was going back and forth from forehand to backhand, but then he starts missing a couple of backhands, and it's obvious that he's just not quite comfortable with it. There's backhand number one. I believe he makes the next one, but then he kind of gets into a little bit of a rut. He kind of has a couple of tough sequences in a row on his backhand side. I believe this next shot he misses. Now, rather than shy away from that backhand side, he tells his practice partner, there's another miss on his backhand side. He instructs his practice partner to focus, see him here pointing, on his backhand side. There's another miss. He was kind of a little casual the first time. Now watch, he really kind of gets his partner's attention. He says, hey, make sure you get me some backhands over here. Now, that might seem like a little thing, but it's so not. That just shows a lot of character as far as being a good tennis player is concerned on the part of Novak Djokovic. How many of you out there can honestly say that you have walked out onto the practice court, found out that something just really wasn't working well that day, and rather than move on, which is just totally human nature, and I've done this as well, rather than moving on to something that you know you're going to be a little bit more comfortable with and you're going to feel more successful if you work at that, you tell your partner or you tell your coach or you tell whoever you're playing with, listen, I got to hit a bunch of backhands right now because it's just not going too well. And really kind of get out of your comfort zone and drill that over and over again. So let's go back to Novak here. I just wanted to point that out. It's so key, and that's why I love this footage from Novak. So he goes back to the approaches, and he and his partner drill several more backhands in a row until he starts to find a little bit more rhythm on that backhand side again. And then he ends up successfully working his way through several sequences in a row where it's a backhand approach and then either backhand or forehand volley. So I love this example from Novak. Number one, working on a part of his game that most people don't really think is super important, at least not these days, to success at men's singles at the top levels of the game. And then number two, he picked out that problem area and he really focused on it. He told his partner to focus on it on purpose. So two really great examples there from Novak. I hope that you've really enjoyed this series. If you haven't watched the first and second video, please go do so because they were really meant to be a whole series watched together. So check those out as well. Hopefully they've all been kind of an inspiration to you and get you pumped up and motivated to go out there and work on your own game, especially those areas of your game that you're not super comfortable with right now. Spend kind of the hard minutes, the hard hours drilling those parts of your game, get them shored up, get them stronger, and that's how you're really going to get yourself to the next level. So if you enjoyed this video, please click like below. Feel free to leave any questions or comments below as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be talking to you again very soon. Want to serve more like the pros? Find out how as I compare Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic during my free 5-video course. Get it now at freeservecourse.com. That's freesurfcourse.com.